Feel good about some things our guys did tonight. I think Bowling Green. I think that they've got some injuries they're dealing with now. Obviously, as do we. But thought our guys did some really good things, particularly in the first half defensively. A lot of areas we have to get better in. We're still looking at rotations and trying to figure out what lineups are going to look like. It's a bit of a moving target here as we deal with Justice, and no real word on him right now other than he had to be evaluated. He was not able to play. Did not feel that he was going to be able to play. So we went to send him to a specialist in Cleveland, and a productive meeting. But what plan moving forward we're going to have, and if he's going to play Thursday, all those questions kind of remain open-ended. So excited about obviously this incredible challenging stretch we have, starting with a terrific opponent on Thursday.
And are you worried at all with Justice that this could be a season thing, or are you still at this point thinking it could be game to game?
Yeah, I don't know right now that it's season ending. It I think is significant, but I don't know what to make of that.
And has it gotten worse, or has it just kind of maintained where it's been for a while?
It had gotten better, considerably better, almost to 100%, in his words. And then really right before the Ole Miss scrimmage, he started to feel some of the same issues. So we've been managing it really since then.
Well, to come out tonight, and I know you've talked about this team being a work in progress and then taking what you can out of the first two games, to get a blowout win, what does that do confidence-wise? Did some of these guys need to see a game like this before you go into the stretch you've got coming ahead?
Well, I think those first couple games were such kind of, in a lot of ways, pretty tight games. Obviously, the first one came down the last 3 seconds. So, in the second one, we weren't able to pull away. I think in this one, we benefited from some of their new and young guards, but we were able to kind of defensively do some things there. It's good. I think our team, honestly, Adam, needed this because we needed to be able to. I was going to lengthen our rotation anyway, but we needed to be able to do that, and guys needed to be able to play.
You haven't had a ton of long-term injuries while here. How do you go about with something like that for Justice, where it seems like it was going in the right direction? How do you keep him upbeat? How do you keep like his weight on you? How do you handle that?
Listen, it's I'm not going to minimize the importance of Justice or Justice's health to this team. We certainly anticipated a healthy Justice to start the season, and I think planned around all of what he could give us. He's unique because there's not another Justice type player on our roster that is so has the ability at his size to play downhill and guard multiple positions. And so I'm hopeful and optimistic that we can have him and Seth back. Kyle's fine now. He's still working his way back conditioning-wise, but we really need those guys back. Again, we know Seth's timetable. I don't know Justice's timetable, but to say it's not a significant hit, I wouldn't be honest. It is.
You've had quite a bit more offensive balance tonight than you have in the first two games. I think 5 guys in double digits. Did you describe the ball energy as being better, as the passes being better? What did you see that led to that better balance?
I think it was that. I think our guys really shared the ball. The way they play defensively, the way they scramble, allows for the ability for them to get in rotation a little bit. So I think as much as anything, our guys did a really good job making a lot of one-mores. 27 assists, 12 turnovers, an outstanding offensive ball distribution, outstanding assist turnover game.
ZT scored in double digits the first 3 games this year so far? I know it's still early, but so far, what have you seen in him this season that he's improved on from last year?
He's in the best shape of his time here. His body composition is the best it's been. I give Quader and Banks a lot of credit for that, as well as Zed. But that's going to have to be a continual thing all summer, or excuse me, all season for him. He did work hard in the summer. He worked hard in the preseason. Fitness is so important for a guy that size and the way he plays. Listen, competition will, in the length and size he goes against, will change here. So he's got to be able to continue to take steps forward when he's playing against bigger, longer guys.
I know, like, over the course of the preseason and through the summer, the emphasis has been on kind of defense first. And I'm curious about, I mean, it seemed like you guys played with an aggressiveness that we didn't really see over the first 2 games. Is that, do you see it the same way? And what did you see defensively tonight that may have been different?
I'd have to watch tape. I do know we had a very good practice yesterday. I'd have to watch the game to know if we played with a different level of aggressiveness defensively. Honestly, I thought the guards in the second game, Niagara's guards, really were able to kind of dictate things on us, which is something we have to continue to get better at. But and they're good players. But I think there was an aggressiveness in all 3 games, not as much as I'd like to see, more so in this game than in the other 2 probably.
Do you feel like, I mean, it's important to have an increased level of defensive success, especially heading into the stretch that you guys are about to head into?
Well, I think we've identified that clearly as an issue that we need. Well, listen, as we've talked about, we were an elite offensive team last year. One of the very best in the country, one of the very best offensive teams in numbers that certainly the best offensive team that I've coached. Defensively, we had to get better. We'll see if that's the case, or we're not going to make any statements after 3 games. We had a little more bite to us today. We'll see if that continues.
With Michi tonight, he had 13, I think, on 12 shots, and I know some of that comes late. Someone's got to shoot when the shot clock's getting down. 3 assists, 3 turnovers. Seems like we're seeing a little bit of everything, good and bad, with him. How are you continuing to try to coach him through some of those ups and some of those downs?
Yeah, I think it's so much. Same with Malachi tonight, right? Missed a few open ones, and then didn't have good footwork on one of them where he was open. Has to be a little more shot ready. I just think that is so critical that we see growth from those guys and that they continue to get more comfortable and feel more comfortable. It begins for them on the defensive end. How are they impacting things? How committed are they on that end? What's their effort like? And if that continues, I'm not concerned about their offense. They are going to make some mistakes, but in some ways, I want them to make mistakes. I want them to be in position where they're making mistakes right now. I really do. Well, that sounds crazy, Coach. No, it's about them learning from those right now. And I think as much as anything, those first 2 games put them in some positions that helped them moving forward. So I really feel good about our freshman guards, and that's what they are. This is Michi's first full freshman year. This is Malachi's. He's the youngest guy on our team. They're going to play. They're going to make mistakes. They're also going to have some really, really good moments. But we have to understand that's when you have young guards, that's a part of it. So the mistakes have been really, I think, in a lot of ways, good for us.
Going back to Colin's question about defense, your point, you mentioned the guards that Bowling Green had and whatnot, but can you build habits defensively, even in a game where you're overmatching the opponent and some things will come easier than in other games, but those habits, can those start to build now to help you as you go?
They better, because I think the moment you don't, and honestly, I thought we had some really loose defensive possessions in the second half, and that was probably most disappointing to me. Now we had some unique lineups in there, but that was probably, if you said, hey, what's one thing that disappointed you this game, it was that. I just thought we had too many loose defensive possessions, but I thought our habits in the first, 25 minutes were good on that end right now. Not perfect, but good and better. So that was good to see. And I think in games like this, that's what you're preaching to your guys, is are we continuing to play the way to our standard.
You made the comment the other night that EJ and Justin Arns are your two hardest workers. I think I heard that right.
Yeah.
With Justin, can you flesh that out a little bit? And is some of that him realizing that he didn't want to get passed, for lack of a better term, on the depth chart?
Yeah, I think with Justin, he's just been really consistent, which is what you'd expect of a fourth-year guy. You know, I think people forget, he's been you guys don't, but I think sometimes people forget, he's a fourth-year guy who's played every year and had an impact. He had an impact his freshman year, but has grown his role every year. But his consistency in his work has been what's, honestly, it's what you'd expect. I would be disappointed if he wasn't that, because I know him, I know his family, I know what he wants, I know what's important to him, and that's why we love having him in our program. Because he's worked to the standard that you'd expect a fourth-year guy to work to, and I'm proud of him for that. And I do believe he and EJ have been our two most consistent guys. I put Jamari right there as well.
You better than anybody would know what it's like going into the Cintas Center. You've
Yeah.
been in a full Breslin, you've been in a full Assembly Hall. I don't know the capacity at the Cintas. I don't think it's as big as some Big Ten arenas, but can you speak about what it's like when it's amped up, which I assume it will be Thursday?
I think it will be. It's a phenomenal environment. They have a tremendous fan base, really, really passionate fans who know hoops. You're right. It was quite, and it still is, quite a rivalry between Butler and Xavier. And we played in a lot of really hostile environments, and I would put that environment up, and certainly expect it to be that as good as any we'll play in all year.
Did you to return for that one down there?
No, that's part of the Gavitt games,
Okay.
and they schedule it, and I think there's a couple going on tonight, I think, and there are no return games. So we have no say, just like we had no say in Duke coming here. You know, we're not going to play Duke. Xavier's not coming, coming back here. So it's part of these Gavitt, these ACC Big Ten Challenge, the Big East Big Ten Challenge. And listen, I think you guys know this. I like scheduling home and homes on campus. I don't love a lot of, we'll always have neutral games like the one we're going to next week in these tournaments. But I'll also always schedule as much as I can, like we scheduled against Cincinnati when we did a home and home. We'll always go on the road against other high majors and play in true road games. I just think to not play in true road games doesn't fully prepare your guys, and honestly, it takes away from our game when you don't do that. I think it takes away from how special our game is.
Refresh my memory, first of all, did you get crossed up getting paired with them at their place? Is that something where you went, whoa, we weren't counting on that? Or?
No, I think we knew it as a possibility. They've got the best team, I think, that they've had in the last a couple years. So we anticipated that, you know how these things work with TV. We anticipated it would be a game like that.
Refresh my memory, last year you were scheduled to play somebody, you didn't go to South Dakota, but you were scheduled to play somebody out there that would have been this kind of matchup. Was it Butler?
There was a tournament out there that we were scheduled to go into, and it was the battle for Atlantis. A number of teams, Memphis, and a number of teams were in that. But it was not this event.
I know, but who were you paired with? There was some first round or possible.
I think it was Memphis. I think so.
I just wonder if you could share a little bit what your emotion is coming out of this game, because obviously you're coming off a big win. You got a lot of guys in double figures. You shared the ball better than you have in years. But the justice thing is certainly
Yeah.
a thing that I'm sure hovers over this. What are you feeling coming out of a night like tonight, where you would think it'd be all celebratory, but it doesn't seem to necessarily be that?
Yeah, I'm disappointed for him. I'm disappointed for our team because it's going to be hard for us to reach our potential without certainly one of our best players. But again, I don't know when I believe he's going to return. I just don't know when that is. But I'm disappointed for Justice, because I know how badly he wants to be out there. And listen, I'm disappointed for our team too. But Adam, you know as well as I do, in a season like this, there are so many things that come at you as a head coach. You got to move forward. You know, you've got guys that are more than capable. We're going to coach those guys. We're going to get them ready. We're going to move forward. And we're going to hope that our medical staff gets Justice ready to go as soon as he's ready.
Coach, I know you said the starting lineup's going to be a fluid situation all season, but with the potent kind of combo of Liddell and Key down low and how good Zed's playing, offensively especially, could you see Kyle Young coming off of the bench as a long-term thing, or do you like Kyle Young coming off of the bench for you guys?
Sure, I like him starting. I like him come off the bench. I like him playing early. I like him playing late. I like him playing in the middle. I like him playing. So I'm not ready to make any big statements right now on what our lineup's going to look like. I think, you know, it's interesting with some of these super seniors that you've seen right now, like Travion Williams, first team all league coming off the bench, you know. So you are seeing some of the best players, quote unquote, in the league, or better players in the league that for whatever reason may be coming off the bench. But I don't know if I'd say it's, you know, that's going to be this way. You know, he'll definitely start on senior night. You know, it could change in a week. It could change next game.
Last one, Connor, in the back.
It was also about Kyle. Would you say he's back to 100%? I know he only played 14 minutes tonight, but that could be game flow. That could be any number of reasons. Would you say, like, everything that's happened to him the past 8-9 months, is he back? Do you think to where he needs to be fully?
Yeah. The issues that, and again, I'm not going to be able to pronounce it. I think I did a couple weeks ago here.
Vestibular dysfunction.
There you go. Thank you. That thing is better and cleared up, and that was the biggest thing holding him back and bothering him. And our medical staff did a great job with getting that better. We all know how critical he is. His plus minus on this group is always basically at the top of the list. So I'm hoping for a healthy season for him. He's 100% in terms of how he feels. He's still got to shake the rust off. He just hasn't had much live action.
Yeah, that's more what I meant, was as far as minutes and stuff, there's no limitations. You're just get out and go.
No, if he can play in our next game 30 minutes, he'll play that.